At first, the future looked good. The hard work of Sikh farmers turned Indian Punjab into the most prosperous state in the country. But by the 1970s, many Sikhs felt that their success hadn't been rewarded with political and economic rights. The Punjab even had to share its capital, Chandigarh, with a neighbouring state. Sikh politicians demanded greater autonomy. Some agitated for an entirely separate Sikh homeland, a land for the Khalsa or Khalistan. Around this time, a Sikh revivalist movement led by a charismatic preacher called Janal Singh Bhindranwale swept the Punjab.
Part of the reason for Bhindranwale's rise can be traced back to the prosperity that came to the Punjab. Young Sikhs started drinking, taking opium, trimming their beards, and generally drifting away from the Spartan traditions of the Khalsa. And he went round initially preaching in villages. Turn back to the days of Guru Gobind Singh, be good Khalsa, don't trim your beards, don't smoke, don't drink. And he was successful as a preacher. A large number of Sikhs were rebaptized as Khalsa.
To his admirers, Bhindranwale was just the kind of leader the Sikhs had been looking for.
Sant Jarnail Singh ਦੀ personality ਬਹੁਤ ਖਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਬਿਰਤੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਨੇ ਸਿਰਜਿਆ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਸੰਤ ਸਿਪਾਹੀ ਆਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਬਈ ਉਹ ਸੰਤ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਸਿਪਾਹੀ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ.
In 1983, Bhindranwale and his armed followers took over the Akal Takht building in the Golden Temple complex. For the Sikhs, the Akal Takht is second only in importance to the sacred Harmandir Sahib itself. On the 2nd of June 1984, Mrs. Gandhi finally decided to remove Bhindranwale and his men. Rather than sending in the police, she sent in the army during one of the Golden Temple's major religious events.
The timing of the assault on the Golden Temple was, in one word, diabolical. Now don't forget that Punjab at this stage is saturated with intelligence agencies and their agents and moles. Are we expected to believe that they completely overlooked the fact that it's the birth anniversary of the founder of the Golden Temple, Guru Arjan Dev, and time the assault at that time, when pilgrims are coming from all over the world to be there on that hallowed occasion?
Inside the complex was Surinder Kaur Nanda, the wife of the Golden Temple's information officer.
We had no idea that the army would attack the Golden Temple, because everybody comes to Golden Temple to say their prayers and to bow their heads before the Guru Granth Sahib.
A media blackout was imposed as the army readied itself for what it codenamed Operation Bluestar. Visitors to the Golden Temple expect to hear the sound of fireworks during festivals. But this time a different kind of explosion echoed through the skies over Amritsar.
We heard noises of bombardment at Akal Takht, noises of people dying. They were crying with pain. And we heard noises of shoes of army men entered in the Golden Temple. They entered the Golden Temple along with their shoes. They didn't care for any respect, regard or anything.
Finally, the army was given permission to fire on the Akal Takht, where Bhindranwale was holed up. The tide turned against the militants, but at great cost to the sacred building. Bhindranwale's body was found on the night of June the 6th. Exactly how he died remains a mystery. Weapons allegedly recovered from the militants were displayed to the world. The casualties were not. Official figures for the fatalities were 83 soldiers and 492 militants and civilians, including 30 women and 5 children. Unofficial estimates went into the thousands.
When we came out, we saw lying dead bodies here and there. A bad smell was coming out. I was feeling very sad. Our people had attacked Indian people. Yes, our government had attacked Indians.
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਭੁਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੋਕ ਰਾਜੀ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਬਾਉਣ ਲਈ 9 ਡਿਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਫੌਜ ਚੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਉਹ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਤੇ ਇਦੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਸਦਮਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੈ।
The impact of Operation Bluestar was felt across the world as Sikh communities outside of India erupted in outrage at the news. While volunteers cleared up the rubble, Mrs. Gandhi visited the Golden Temple in an attempt to soothe Sikh feelings. She promised to rebuild the damaged complex at the nation's expense. But Sikh anger wasn't to be bought off so easily.
When Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated, somebody rang me up to tell me what had happened. At that time I wasn't sure who'd killed her, but soon after, by the afternoon, one learned that it was her own security guards who were both Sikhs. It was at night that the mob started coming round, all on trucks with cans of oil, petrol, matches, iron rods. There were cab ranks. They were all mainly run by Sikhs. They burnt up their taxis, and I watched the mob come, burn up Sikh shops. There were armed policemen standing by, doing nothing. It was a greater shock for me, because I felt really that this is what a Jew in Nazi Germany must have felt, that I, an Indian, became a refugee in my own country.
Some of the worst violence took place in Trilokpuri, a suburb of Delhi where Sikhs and Hindus lived in close quarters.
हिंदुस्तानी कहने लगे हम सरदारां नूं अहीं छड्डना नहीं। अगे अहीं तो यही सोचा, अहीं क्या भी ये तो मां सारियां दी सीगी। इंदिरा गांधी चलो राज करदी सीगी, सारियां वास्ते एक सीगी। ओनू खिच के ले आए अंदरों, फिर अंदरों खिच के तो ओनू एक डंडा मारिया सी, ओनू फिर जिंदे नू जलाया सी। फिर मेरी कुड़ी छोटी सी मेरी गोदी विच, तो जिस तरह मैं अपने आदमी नू बचाण गई तो मैनू खिच के तो इस तरह सुट दिता, कहता तू बई एन वे हटो, तो मेरी कुड़ी भी उठ चुक के तो थले सुट दी सी। फिर ओदे बाद उन्हें जिंदे नू छाड़ दिता सी, ते 18 जो छोटा मुंडिया सी 10-12 साल दा, ओनू भी मारिया। 6-7 लाशां इकट्ठी करके एक दूजे ते, तो फिर ओनू साड़ दिता। जबरदस्ती उत्ते बुला के इन्हां नूं धक्का दे दिता, उत्तों सुटता, उत्ते ही मिट्टी का तेल पा के सरिये अपने तलवारां नलके दियां हत्थियां इन्हां नाल मारन लग पे। फिर भी जिद्दां भी सीगे। उस तो बाद मैनूं पता चलिया, बच्चों ने लग के मैं तो थले संगी, जो मैनूं पता चलिया उन्होंने मिट्टी का तेल पा के जो रात भी तिल्ली लगाई है, तरले लैन लग पे, कहंदे मैनूं छड्ड दो मेरा